You got Back to the Future up there, I see.
which I know you were in. And
How interesting. That's nice to see. What else you got in the back? I see Spidey. Can't
yeah.
tell what else. Oh, Ferris Bueller, of course. Stellar. Who's on the
And
right there? Something Part 3.
Harry Potter Part 3, The Prisoner of Azkaban, the best
That's
Harry Potter in my opinion.
love it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for doing this, like I said. And first off, to jump right in, man, I gotta say, your transformation into Marlon Brando is so uncanny. Even Marlon Brando's daughter said she was confused if it was her dad or you. And also, your portrayal has also been praised by people like Paul Schrader. How does it feel to get that kind of reaction, both for how you look and for your performance?
I'm so grateful it landed. The objective was to reclaim this legacy, from the trauma, drama that befell Marlon, certainly later in life, and really shine a light on his love of humanity, because I think it really lay at the core of why he was so good as an actor and his empathy. He was such a humanist and such a curious and intrepid, student of the microverse and the macroverse. It was just I loved learning this about him and then really leaning into those elements and not what we would, I guess, assume that supported or surrounded him, anything was projected upon him. So reclaiming that and setting the record straight. It's a true story. This is all based on fact. And I was so charmed to discover it and just was really pleased and had a great time executing, that narrative.
And what surprised you most while researching for the film? Like maybe something you read about Brando that you had never known before.
Well, I heard about his sense of humor, but the practical jokes were certainly, you know, I didn't know how deep he went with that. And again, his love of science. I didn't know he was such a nerd, and it touched a part of me. I mean, we have I tried to connect to the things that were similar, and we have it's on that particular place. And I work closely with Caltech University's Office of Technology Transfer and help them with storytelling, just because I like to spend time with rocket scientists at JPO and physicists, and it fascinates me. I know what I don't know, and I'm a sponge when it comes to what they do, and apparently I've got you know some skills that they need some help with. So it's just a very symbiotic relationship. When I found out that he was equally fascinated by that company as opposed to whoever's at the Polo Lounge on a Friday, it was just like, yeah, okay, we're kindred. I think I got an on-ramp into this guy.
Yeah, and Waltzing with Brando too. Like this film has a lighter, more comedic tone than most biopics. What do you think that lighter touch adds to the film?
Everything. It's, you can't tell a full life, I think, in a cradle to grave. It's impossible to really get in there. A 5-year period was a good period of focus. And then it was his happy place this particular time. It was what he had found in Tahiti and wanted to share or preserve, certainly, and share with the world. To create, not just a hotel or a compound, but a center where the great minds of the age can come and contemplate the inequities and then solutions, to find solutions for the problems that we had all faced at that time. And that was a real noble pursuit and probably the best use of his skill as a communicator, is as a force of nature, and how he applied and used his own money. And in there lies the comedy, because the guy was hemorrhaging money trying to figure out the R&D on all this tech that we're using now. Thank you, Marlon. Um, and in going broke, his accountant, wonderfully played by Richard Dreyfuss, is like, "Hey, you broke. Do the gangster picture. Get out." Like the gangster picture, of course, The Godfather.
Yeah.
So diminishing these sacred milestones that we all love was really funny. Lifting the curtain upon them, still acing them, but yeah, okay, another Oscar, great. It's like use it as a doorstop. Let's talk about desalination, salinization. Um, it's just, I don't know. I love that it's funny, and I think people are disarmed by it, and I think that's important because the movie I think has a form of, I wanted to make a public service, which was a relief, from typical three act structure and trauma drama or predictable vengeance play or just waiting for, or triumph at the expense of another, right? Like that low res thing that we all get led down the garden path by. It's like none of that is in this movie. And it's meant to just exist as this kind of series of pleasantries with interesting information. And you feel like you've been on vacation in Tahiti. You feel like better for it. It's just like a cleansing. So some folks, I guess, don't know what to do with that. Some absolutely do. And I think it lands later on. I think it just, whether you like it or not, you're better for it.
I love that, man. I love that. And actually, I saw you post a few weeks ago, actually, that small reunion with you and Leonardo DiCaprio
Yeah.
on the One Battle After Another premiere. I want to ask, what was that like? Seeing him again, and what do you remember about working alongside him all those years ago on Titanic?
Well, we see each other plenty, and it it was just a reunion on that carpet that was unique, right? I don't think we'd both been at the Chinese for about 30 years, so it was cool. I understand why the media picked up on that as significant, and um, I mean, it was great to see that movie. It's wonderful, and he's so good in it. He only gets better. The whole cast was great, and I've known each of them for many years, and it's just amazing to see the caliber of work coming out of everyone's just getting older and better. It's kind of cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I've been seeing so many videos too about like speaking of Titanic, about like a lot of improvisation. Like I know that there was a scene where you like threw the table that was improvised, I think. And there's also one where Kate Winslet spit on you, that was also improvised. Is that true too? Like because there's never been a confirmed thing about it.
No, the spitting was planned. I didn't know it was going to happen like 17 times, but that was planned. And the table was, something we came up with on the day. Of course, we won't, as I recall it, it was, why go around the table? Why not through? And then we had to logistically see how many dresses she had. I think she had two. How many resets did we have on the tabletop? And no matter how many times we did it, it was still startling because it's just such a violent act. And really launch the scene at that point where it needed to go and establish Cal's threat. Because, it's one thing to be kind of whatever, posh and effete, I guess, but it's another when suddenly you sense the man's capacity for explosive behavior, which pays off later, of course. But
Awesome. Well, Billy, I want to thank you for your time today. Really appreciate it. Everybody, make sure you watch Waltzing and Brando and listen to your friend Billy Zane. He's a cool dude. Thank you,
thank you
Billy.
so much.
Have a good one.
Thank you, brother.